Rolling. Where's the clapper? There it is. Here it is.
3, 2, 1, clap.
Woohoo!
All right. Previously on Severance, everything was deeply unsettling, wildly unethical, and somehow still under budget. We open in the birthing cabin where Mark's innie and outie play the weirdest game of telephone ever recorded, literally, with a camcorder. Devin and Cobell, who's basically Lumen's answer to a cryptic PTA mom, lay out their plan to rescue Gemma from the testing floor and take down Lumen. Mark's innie isn't thrilled. Why? Because reintegration could erase him. And also because Helly's outie, Helena Egan, would never reintegrate, meaning Helly would basically be yeeted into oblivion. Mark is having an existential identity crisis, but hey, who isn't? The next day, back on the severed floor, Mark finishes the Cold Harbor file with Helly, earning a celebration for Milchick, and, wait for it, a robotic Kier statue and a marching band. Apparently, Lumen's choreography and merriment department has range. While Milchick is busy doing his best drum major cosplay, Helly traps him in the bathroom. Bathroom warfare is trending. And Mark heads for the elevator to the testing floor. Dylan returns because plot, and uses a vending machine to block Milchick in. Yes, that Dylan. The man, the myth, the Mountain Dew fueled legend. Meanwhile,
in the cold... Sorry, I don't remember that.
I think he has some with like dinner whenever he's out with his wife.
Gotcha.
Whenever
that
they're
tracks.
out in their outer
I just
world.
don't remember.
I'm sure it's probably not Mountain Dew, but soda or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, in the Cold Harbor room, Gemma's new innie is told to disassemble the crib Mark built for their baby. It's a twisted emotional landmine, except, surprise, no emotions triggered. Maurer and Jane Egan are thrilled. These people would definitely clap at a funeral. Elsewhere, Lorne, our personal Agatha Christie, Gwendolyn Christie in full chaos mode, carries a sacrificial lamb, like an actual lamb, into a creepy room. Mr. Drummond gives her a cattle stunner and says the lamb will be buried with Gemma because that's totally normal workplace behavior. Mark interrupts the ritual, gets choked and thrown around. Then Lorne saves him because even evil rituals have boundaries.
And Gwendolyn Christie is just that girl in every show, apparently.
Yeah, she's like, I gotta be your savior.
Heck yeah.
Mark then drags Drummond to the elevator at Cattle Stunner Point. But oops, during the outie transition, he accidentally stuns him to death. Mark shrugs, uses the blood-soaked tie for... Mark shrugs, uses the blood-soaked tie for biometric access, again, super normal, and finds any Gemma in Cold Harbor. He explains he's her husband and coaxes her to leave, which she does, much to the horror of Maurer and Egan, who were probably 2 seconds from handing out pamphlets. Once outside the testing room, she transitions back to her outie and breaks down in Mark's arms. They run upstairs, become innies again because trauma needs layers, and Mark tries to guide Miss Casey/Gemma to freedom, but at the last second, he turns back to Helly. The two run off together because nothing says Severance finale like a slow-mo existential sprint through corporate hell.
I loved it.
Cue dramatic music, cut to black, panic until next season.
Yep. I loved the song. I loved it all. It was all great.
That ending, man, the ending shot was like something out of like a 1980s, like 1970s, like cop drama. It freezes and then they just do a slow push
while they're like in motion
plays.
and their hair is like in the wind. Yes. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. I even liked the song. And you can
see... What song was it?
I don't know. It was like almost like something that I would have heard in like my papa's like country western movies from like the 50s or 60s.
Right.
Yeah.
It was probably written by Teddy Shapiro though. Like
really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume that he did.
Yeah.
I haven't had time to listen to the podcast, so I don't know if they even talked about it.
Well, I'm gonna Google it right now. Song at end of season 2 of Severance. Episode 10. Let's see what we got. The Windmills of Your Mind by Mel Torme.
That is not Teddy Shapiro.
Yep. Yeah, I loved it. It's a great song. Now I'll check out Mel.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
but, yeah.
I mean, since we're talking about the end, I was a little mad,
Yeah.
but also like a little relieved, but also kind of happy. Literally
Mm-hmm.
all of the emotions, every one of my temperaments was out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was like, what the blank, what the expletive, like as I was watching the show. And when she was in, I don't want to necessarily go out of order, but Gemma at the end, when she's like knocking on the window, like, Mark, we have to go home. Mark. And she knows she can't like go through. I think she's locked
the
out
door's
anyway.
locked.
Yeah, it's like a one-way door. There's nothing she can do.
But if she went in,
it's just,
if she went in, she'd be back to Miss Casey.
Yeah. But I guess he just doesn't trust Mark enough, or it's a mix of he didn't trust Mark enough / Lumen enough to really...
and
he doesn't want to end Helly. Like,
yeah, because he knows that Helena is not going to want to be with him.
Right.
But then how can they? Because it's two personalities in one person.
Right.
So he would be dating Gemma and Helly.
I guess he's like, listen, man, I freed your wife. She's free, but you're going bye-bye, actually. I'm taking over your consciousness. That's kind of what it felt like, but I don't think that's necessarily it. I think it was literally just a... Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was gonna...
I think it was just a moment of like, wait, I don't actually really care about Gemma like that. The person that I love is at the other end of the hallway saying, Mark. Like...
Right.
He's kind of just like, F this. I'm going with what I want.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool if, though, in season 3, if they're like, he did it for a reason. Like, this is how we're going to bring Lumen down.
Yeah.
I'm already making predictions for the next season that hasn't been shot for the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's been confirmed. Well, I did see somebody, like, tweeted Ed Instiller, and they were like, is it going to be another 3 years? And he was like, no. So
yeah, no, he
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say that it won't be that long.
Yeah, but I saw that they did an interview where he's like, no, it will not be 3 years.
Yeah. You better stick to that, man. Or me and Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell.
I was gonna say we need to like petition Dax Shepard to like send him
keep those voicemails
every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you think? Did you think that, like, whenever he was trying to decide, did you have a thought that you thought he was going to go one way or the other?
I just really hoped that he would go through the door, because you get that, like, very sweet short moment of Gemma and him together, Gemma and Audi Mark, and they're just, like, so, enthralled in, like, joy and relief. And then it stops because it's Casey and Any Mark, or Miss Casey and Any Mark. And they're kind of just like, she doesn't know what the hell's going on. So I wanted to see more of that. I think it was just, I was hoping for it because I wanted to see more of that. And I wanted to see Gemma happy. Like, she finally saw her husband after how many years?
Yeah, at least 2.
Yeah. But I'm like, am I team Gemma? Am I team Helly? I don't know. That's another more complicated question.
The whole season 2 was leading up to them two being together. And now they're not.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to go out the door.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to open the door and go back out.
Yeah. I just had hope, but I honestly didn't feel like it was going to happen. Like, I didn't have an inkling to what was actually going to happen, just what I wanted personally to happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I was watching that happen, I was like...
No, yeah, I probably was too, like, going back and forth, like, what is he going to do?
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did such a good job.
Like, every scene, though, I was like, oh my god, oh.
Right.
It was
all right, let's get started. At the beginning, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
So it starts with Mark in the birthing cabin, which I think is... Nah, never mind. I was going to say something silly, but it doesn't make any sense. Okay. I was going to say, I was going to try to say something profound, like, Audi Mark is giving birth to his any self. I'm an idiot.
I mean, they're interacting for the first time. They're having an interaction that we don't know has ever happened before between any and Audi. That was a tongue twister.
Right. Well, actually, in the Lumen or the Lexington letter, Peg was talking to herself. Like, she was able to communicate.
Oh, that's right.
It was written.
In the show.
Written.
Yeah.
Right. No, well, this is canon. Like, this is actually part of the Lumen world. So,
right.
But yeah, they haven't actually really talked to each other except for Lumen supervised stuff.
Right. Yeah. And their reaction is so cute to me. Like, at first, before it gets ugly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Hi. It's almost like they act like they're meeting their celebrity crush or something. They're like kind of awkward, but like really excited.
Right. Well, Peg had the same issue too. Whenever she was talking to herself, like, she was like, it's like kind of like I don't want to say first date, but like when you hang out with a friend for the first time, you know, you're just like, how are you? You know, it's like you're just testing the waters to see like how each of you respond.
Yeah. Is there any deeper conversation or relationship than the one you have with yourself? Dun, dun, dun.
See, that was profound. My Mark birthing himself doesn't make any sense. Stricken from the record.
Yep.
Let me sever that from my memory real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on your performance review. That's one whole bullet point.
It's gonna be a whole page. But anyway, yeah. So Mark is actually he starts talking to Cobell, and she explains to him about the testing floor elevator. She's like, "There's a long dark hallway," and Mark is like, "Yeah, we know where that is." Yeah. And then we go out to Helly is sitting. Or this is whenever she was sitting in MDR studying the directions to get to the room. James had showed up behind her in the last episode. And she's like, they're sitting there talking, and basically James says to Helly, what does he say? I didn't love Helena because I didn't see Keir in her. She used to have it, but then she didn't.
Yeah. Until you.
And then he sired other kids in the shadows, which means he was just going around.
Yeah. He was being Nick Cannon, trying to find the next Keir Jr., basically.
I was going to say he was being like Dieter, just...
Oh, yeah.
Spilling his lineage.
Yeah.
His lineage.
Yeah. It's so gross.
But then, and he said he didn't see Keir in them either, but then he did see it in Helly, like any Helly. Which I thought that was just kind of an interesting revelation that like there has to be multiple reasons why the innies are there. Because like Mark is there to program Gemma essentially, and they're testing that kind of stuff. But then like Helly is there. Obviously, it started because she was supposed to be like doing this little documentary experiment.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like James is like, I see like the creator or whatever you want to call him in you. So now like it's just a bunch of different layers that kind of
yeah. What he says to her is interesting. No, what she says to him is what I meant. And she's like, "You've created hell and you're gonna burn in it." And he's like, there he is talking about Keir.
Keir,
Just a reminder that Keir is probably was not the nicest individual, in case that wasn't already obvious.
Right. No, he was a sweetheart.
Yeah, he's just trying to do good for the world.
Yeah, that was good. And actually, she kind of ran at him too with that pen. She ran at him.
No, she was ready in case he was going to attack her.
I thought stuff was going down.
But I mean, she doesn't know him from Adam. I don't think at first. I think it's just like
she turned around. She's like, she's like, you're effing weird.
Yeah. I can't remember what she says. She's just like,
that's what she said.
Like, yeah.
No, she's like, you're effing weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think she did say that
super
at one
creepy.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then after he walks away and she screams at him for a little bit, we go back to the cabins where Mark's innie and his outie are communicating. So I had a question about that.
Yeah.
The birthing cabins are obviously for pregnant mothers to go, and they're severed so they don't remember the pregnancy and the birthing, right? Birthing, the birth, whatever.
Yeah.
So
I think both works.
The way that Mark S and Mark Scout were able to talk to each other is they went through a doorway that led onto a second-story balcony. So does that mean that when a mother goes there, she's severed when she's inside, but if she wants to go get some air outside, she becomes her outie again?
I mean, I would think she stays inside, has the birth. They put the baby in their arms, maybe. And then she goes, which I wouldn't want to ever be severed for the birth of my child. And any mother that I've ever met would never be game for that. So I find that very interesting to begin with. Like, that doesn't feel realistic to me. but
right.
But I guess to avoid the pain. Like,
if you're a pregnant mother and you're like, you're sitting there, you're just like,
yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, it's so stuffy in here and you're sweating. You may want to take a step outside, but you can't because you're going to become your outie again.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't be able to do that until they were like leaving the birthing cottages. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, she's here. I did it.
I just think it's so weird that the deck, they couldn't even go out on the deck.
Yeah.
I just, that caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if I were a birthing
it has to be
mother,
something within the structure of like the doorway, right? That's like triggering the switch. So.
I mean, but the overtime contingency worked wherever they wanted it to. So I don't see why they couldn't just have like a little force field. Come on, Lumen, get it together.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Yeah. It's not relevant to anything in the story. It's just something that I noticed. And I was like, that seems that's like poor design.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's a reason for it, but I can't think of what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're communicating back and forth, and it starts, like you said earlier, like a little innocent, and they're just like, how are you? And the other one's like, I'm good, how are you?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, listen here, you little...
Yeah. You're going to do what I say to end your life.
When it comes to the cinematography and the video, like the production aspect of it, I loved the contrast of, again, the blue and the orange, where Audi Mark is like, he's sitting outside, he's in the blue, and everything's like kind of dull and whatever. And then you go inside to Any Mark, and he's like bright, and he's orange, and it's like fiery. So they got that like that nice contrast there with that the video production side of it, which I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, they are going at it.
I was like, oh God, what if Any Mark is just like, well, again, I mean, he would be kind of forced to talk with him again, because unless he refused to leave,
he's going to walk back inside.
Like, you're going to forcibly make me talk to him, and they're going to have to like push him out into the snow or whatever. Like, I didn't know how it escalated. Yeah.
I could see Devin doing that.
Exactly, and I didn't know how escalated it was going to
be. But I got to be
so
careful with his little head.
Cobell was able to kind of level with him, it seems like, even though he has like zero reasons to trust her.
Right. Yeah, she basically just laid it all out on the table.
Yeah.
And she was like, she explained to him what, I think we're jumping ahead a little bit, but she explains to him what the numbers are that they're refining.
Yes. Yeah, the numbers are your wife, is what she says. Yeah.
Yeah, for him, he's creating more innies.
Yeah.
And he even says, he's like, I've refined 24 files.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is basically...
Wouldn't you feel like a monster? I'm surprised he didn't have like some kind of breakdown. Like, oh my God, I've created 24 people that are having a hell experience potentially. I thought he would be like, oh my God, and he was gonna have like an existential. Oh my God, existential crisis. I can't say it. Existential crisis. And be like, oh, like have a breakdown, but that wasn't really his reaction. He was like a little more self-focused, and I guess there was a lot happening, but I would have been kind of like panicked once I realized what I had potentially done. Like, her lives all suck. None of those things were good.
Right.
Like, they were all miserable. Like,
you're saying going to the dentist every single time that you're alive is...
That's your entire existence, is getting your... God, and you would just feel like... No, it would be horrific. Like, that person probably doesn't want to live. Like, yeah.
Oh, wait. That was Wellington, wasn't it? Like, that was the name of that room? The name
of that room, I think, maybe. Yeah.
It's just, I kind of like, now that I know, like, what's going on, I want to go back and watch through season 1 and find out what they were doing when they were refining certain files. Yeah. Just because I like to see that, like, that kind of connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that was a big reveal, because that's been a huge...
what are the numbers? Yeah.
Because everybody's been like, what is it? I was close-ish.
Yes, yeah.
Because I said they were refining scenarios, which is essentially, I guess it's not quite accurate, but it is like, I was close-ish.
Yeah.
I was correct adjacent.
Yeah, on the right track.
Right. But yeah, I thought that was super cool. The reveal was that he's basically creating all these awful lives for his wife.
Right.
Which is a terrible revelation.
Right. You're kind of like her captor almost in all those different scenarios since you're the one that created the room. So.
Yeah, in this instance, he's Jigsaw.
Yes. Yeah.
Want to play a game?
Yeah. Literally, and all the games effing suck. Which is, I guess, true of that series as well. I don't know. I know you're more into Saw than I am. I think you when we had like a larger group of friends, you invited us all over to watch Saw movies one time, and I'm like, I'm good, I'm not really a Saw girl.
I ended up having to watch those by myself, and I watched like 3 of them, and I was like, by the end, I was like, oh my God, I'm exhausted.
I'd be like, I need to go to church. I'm not Catholic, but
somebody baptize me.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I got worn out after 3.
Yeah.
I think I watched 5 total, but I had to wait a couple days to watch the rest of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that wasn't a good idea. So I'm glad you guys bailed.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun.
Yeah. That's funny. Sorry. Back to Severance.
No, it's all good. I honestly, if you're gonna watch these videos, you're kind of watching it for this kind of stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
If you watch the episode, you already know what's going on. You like our personalities. That's why you're watching us.
You're my
This
mom.
one over here is pretty great. Do what?
I said, you're probably my mom.
Oh,
because she's like a very devout follower of the podcast.
Yeah.
She'd be like, where's this episode at?
I remember whenever you're telling me, she's like, where's episode 6? And it's like, I'm trying.
I don't even know if she's caught up now. Probably not. She probably
What?
hasn't seen
I've been putting these out specifically for her.
I know, right? It's all for you, Christy.
I haven't had time because she and I have been doing our podcast.
That's right. I forgot about that.
That isn't out yet.
Podcast. Yep.
The secret podcast of Rob and Christy.
Yep. It sounds legit.
All right. So we still haven't left the birthing cabins yet because Devin and Cobell finally explained to Mark what the plan is, which is for him to go in as Outie Mark, become Any Mark, find Gemma, sneak her out, go down to the testing floor.
Finish the file, right?
Cobell, yes. Finish the file first. And then Cobell told him that his chip only works on the severed floor. So when he goes down to the testing floor, he's himself again.
Right.
So I'm guessing I was wondering why when he went into the Cold Harbor room, nothing happened to him. Because he did walk in there. He didn't become Any Mark when he walked in.
Yeah, but that's not the severed floor.
Right. No, I missed that part initially.
Okay.
And I caught it on my second watch.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting that she told him that. So that's how he was able to maneuver around. But then his plan was to go in, get her, go back up to the severed floor, and then his Any would have to convince his Any would have to convince Miss Casey to leave with him, and then they would go through the stairwell door, and then now they would both be outies again.
Yeah.
That's got to be hard to rely on somebody for that big. Sorry, I've got the hiccups.
Yeah, no, it's like a crapshoot, really. Like you have to understand that this might not work, and there's nothing even a likelihood that everybody dies because they shoot Mark or whatever. Or Miss Casey,
and there's nothing. There's nothing that. We're gonna get them all mixed up. It's fine.
Yeah, they're all the same. So.
But yeah, and you can't do anything about it either because once Outie Mark goes up to the severed floor, he's got to rely on Any Mark and Miss Casey to follow through with the plan. And then once Any Mark takes care, it's past that part, he's got to rely on Outie Mark to take care of the rest of it. Which obviously we find out that didn't happen.
Right.
Okay, so one of the things that Mark's Any is very, very upset about, that he doesn't like this plan, and that's what sends the whole recordings into this whole frenzy, was Any Mark was like, you want me to risk my life to save somebody I don't know?
Yeah. And
to
probably
go in and rescue your
kill
wife.
all my friends effectively.
Yeah, and we're going to kill all my friends too.
For one person that you happen to care about, is I think what he says. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
And I was trying to decide if I figured Outie Mark was being truthful, because with the reintegration, they would kind of go back to being one person.
Right, when he
But
was trying to explain that, yeah.
Once he gets Gemma out, though, does he even need to finish reintegrating?
No, he
Does it
doesn't. He
matter?
can literally say F off to this guy, and that's why he doesn't. That's what he says, right? How do I know you're not just going to forget about me the
Right.
second you get her out? Which is a valid point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it
'cause
definitely
that's
kind of
your
leaves you
existence.
as the viewer, like, also, who am I rooting for here? Like, because I actually kind of care about both people
Right.
and understand both people's point of view because we lived with both of them, essentially.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, is Mark's life more valuable because he's been around longer? I mean, Audi Mark, like,
Right.
complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I love about the show is all the moral questions that it rises that for stuff that doesn't even exist. Like there's this. Well, I mean, I guess there are probably mental issues that actually cause this kind of stuff with people with multiple personalities and stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's getting on a whole other tangent.
Yep.
This is going to be long enough already.
Yep. But it seems like he doesn't really agree. He ends up saying, any Mark, he's like, I'm going to the severed floor. Like, I want to see my friends. The next time I open my eyes, I better be at the severed floor.
Oh, yeah. I thought that line was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the next shot, which I didn't expect, we're still getting his direct point of view. And he's on the severed floor. I was like, smart.
Yep.
Smart. That's interesting. We didn't need to see how they felt about that. That doesn't really matter. So they stuck with the interesting stuff.
The fact that they did that shows like Audi Mark was like, all right, yes.
We have to do what he says. Yeah.
I take your threat seriously. Let's
Again,
go.
showing, not telling.
Yep. And then, so then he, when he gets there, he goes down to the severed floor with Helly by his side. He's working on the Cold Harbor file, and you've got like Dr. Maurer sitting there watching it. Once the numbers start to move, was Drummond there with him? Or because I know he called somebody on the phone.
I don't know if Drummond's there.
Matter.
I think it might be at first, but he leaves, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I feel like I remember that, but
because then he has to go slaughter the goat, apparently, or witness it, because still don't quite understand that.
Well, that was a theory whenever the goats first came up, was like, oh yeah, they're ritual sacrifices, which is essentially what they were going to do.
Pretty much what every major religion, that's like the go-to animal to sacrifice, so I guess it shouldn't be a surprise.
The go-to animal?
A what?
The go-to animal?
Go-to animal. Oh god.
You said the go-to animal?
Yeah, the goat. Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah, the go-to goat.
It was a bad joke.
Yeah, that's okay. You did your best. Oh, man.
So after he, I don't know where this pops up, but I guess they're cutting back and forth because I wrote the notes here. I don't have like visual representation, but Dylan returns because I guess he comes up the elevator.
And he's like, what the hell? Did he...
Yeah, he's like, did he say no?
Yeah.
I thought, oh God, I love Dylan so much, just how real he is. He's like, did he say no?
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Why am I alive?
And then we go back into MDR where there's like a giant party going on. Well, not yet.
Mark goes into work.
Yeah,
right.
And there's a statue of Kier.
Yes,
standing there. But this one is cool because if you think back to the beginning of episode 2, when the replacement MDR people were there, one of them was talking about at their branch of Lumen, they had the Egan wing, the perpetuity wing, and their the representations of them were animatronic. They would move. The ones at this one don't move. So this one Kier that they put in for Mark specifically did move.
Yes. And it's like terrible, like Chuck E. Cheese level animatronic movement, in my opinion. Like,
oh yeah. It's the cheap like 1950s kind of like robotic animatronics and stuff.
Yes.
Then it congratulates him on finishing the file, and it's just interesting because it looks like each iteration of like when they congratulate you is different.
Yeah. I feel like you skipped something kind of major though.
Okay.
Right before there's a minute where Mark sits down and Helly is there to observe him, and that's what it says in the letter.
Oh,
and
right,
he's
right,
really
right.
debating whether or not he should do this or not, because for all he knows, the second it's over, the OTC could switch and he could be like, you know, oh my god, it's my boss and what's going on, and you know, they don't really know, and they
have no idea what's going to happen once it's finished. Yeah.
And they're debating what to do, and there's this moment, and I can't remember what he says before it, like, but like something like, I don't know if I should do this or not, like, I can't remember, and he says like for her, or like talking about Gemma, and she says, but she is me, and I thought that was interesting, because that could be taken so many different ways. My first thought was, it's like, she is to you or me, I am to you what she is to your Audi, so you should do it for them. That's how I viewed it, but apparently other people viewed it as like somehow Helly had some of Gemma's consciousness or something crazy like that.
That is, I didn't register any of that, I guess, because it
really
just went,
no, that was like a big moment, I thought. And that's what he doesn't even say anything. That's when he starts moving the numbers.
Right, because I know he smiles at her.
Yeah, and the last numbers are happy numbers, which I thought was
right.
Like, at least they're
happy numbers. yeah.
But yeah, then he finishes the file and it gets to like the absolute weird chaos fever dream. I'm pretty sure Zach Cherry wrote this based on some of the stuff you told me that he says. Like, literally when I was watching that, I was like, what the hell? Like, what the hell is this? Like, this is so weird.
After, I don't know if you watch this, but like after each episode, it says stay tuned after the episode for a look at whatever. So I watched those.
Oh, and I did
in this one. Okay. Well, in this one, they were talking about how, Dan Erickson says, we didn't know what Mark's prize was going to be, but then somebody was like, they toiled over it for a while, and then somebody just randomly said a marching band, and they were like, that's it. That's it. We're doing a marching band.
And there's a whole department for that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's just a marching band for the department. Isn't just the marching band, but it is what is it? Something in merriment or whatever it's called. Celebration of Merriment or whatever it is. C&M.
Yeah.
God, how do we not remember anything about this show?
Because there's so many little details. It's a lot.
We're supposed to be the authorities, Micah.
Are we? I think we're just regular people.
That's why we do this. People look to us to have the facts.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's the entertainment department, basically, for Lumen.
Yeah.
And there's a marching band, and there's a load of people, like, probably, like, at least...
like 40.
I don't know. Oh, I would say, like, at least 50. It seemed like a ton.
Right.
But yeah, there's the awkward... also, the freaking hilarious interaction between those, obviously unscripted, and also makes me think that robot, that's being voice controlled by somebody somewhere. And the reason I think that is because when Mr. Milchick / Seth is like, I think it's funny that you're, the statue is 5 inches taller of you than you really were. And then the robot is so silent for a little bit, and he's like, thank you for that feedback, Seth, or something like that. It's, it's quiet for so long. Everything before that was like jokey and planned and had like that 50s sitcom, like game show vibe until he says that. And it's just another good depiction of Milchick not giving a shit anymore. He's by the way, you were finally short. Yeah.
Yeah, that again, that slipped my mind, but that cracked me up.
No, I laughed out loud when he said that, and then just his facial expressions, how they both like turn and they're like, like it's still on, and then after all that whole weird exchange, it's like bring in the marching band, and I'm just like, what? I mean, I felt like. I don't think I haven't ever done edibles, but I feel like if I did, that's what it would feel like. Like, I was just like, what is going on? Like, this seems like one of the jokes I would give to Rob when he asks what happens on the next episode, because this is so random. What, I mean, was it not? It's just like, what?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, 1,000% shoot.
I don't want a marching band. What person for a celebration of something they don't want a marching band? Nobody normal. Just exactly.
It went on for a long time too. Like
it was a performance. There was choreography. They were like kicking and stuff.
Right.
Like,
well, think about this. It went on for what, 10 minutes probably?
Yeah, if not longer.
No, definitely longer, because Milchick was locked in that bathroom for a minute.
Yes.
So think about this. Like, you have a football game that has, like, the marching band come out, and they perform, like, I don't know, a couple times, like 2 or 3, whatever. I don't know how long they perform normally, but maybe 15 minutes.
I have no idea.
It was like a whole halftime show.
Yeah.
That they did.
Yep. Just
so it's like, it was just, it was a lot. I was like, holy crap, this is still going on.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm like finding hairs that are like tucked into my, I wear a headset for those that can't tell until I turn my head.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. And then Helly and Mark they come up with a little plan for Mark to get out to go save Gemma, which I adore Helly. Mm-hmm. Like, she has like the same kind of mindset I do. She seems to be the
opposite of Helena.
Hannah.
Helena, yeah. What did somebody? Oh yeah, when they're talking about in the birthing cottages, he calls her Helene or something like that. Helene.
Oh, Helene. Yeah.
And it's like, well, it's actually Helly. Like, you fucking idiot. You don't give a shit about my life. Like, I loved his energy with that.
Like, I've got to correct you. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it's Helly.
Yeah, whenever I saw that Helene, I was like, oh, that's so funny. Yeah,
Helene.
Well, actually,
come on, Mark. Is that a name? Come on. I mean, I guess.
Think about this, though. That actually just brings something up to me as well. Audi Mark corrected Helena whenever she called Gemma Hannah. Mm-hmm. He at the Chinese restaurant, he corrected her. Mm-hmm. And then now any Mark is correcting Audi Mark when he gets Helly's name wrong.
Right.
So that is apparently some kind of ingrained thing in him where he, as a deep down that can't be severed, that he will defend the person that he loves.
Well, yeah, I would hope that if someone did that, like, when I met one of Benny's sisters for the first time, she had never met me, so she didn't have she saw me on social media, she didn't know how to pronounce my name, and she called me Mika. So he like corrected her, he's like, it's Micah.
Right. But he wasn't a jerk about it.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I would hope
like
that
Mark
anybody would do that for somebody that they loved. Like, I wouldn't just let somebody misname somebody. I don't know how you can mispronounce Benny, but if somebody called him Banny or Bunny or something like that, I'd be like, it's Benny, actually.
But knowing you would start calling him Bunny after that.
Yeah, well, the
That'd
thing is, I had
nickname.
a dog for years called Bunny, so I would accidentally call them each other's names sometimes. Like, if Bunny would do something bad, I'd be like, Bunny! And then I would be like, come here, Bunny! Benny! Like,
I remember Bunny was blind, right?
Yeah, at the end of her life, she was. Yeah.
I remember going over to your house and like sitting there we were at the dining room table, and Bunny was like just kind of rubbing up against my leg, and I'm like, I'm the chosen one.
Yes. Yeah, she was just blind and confused, but she was she loved us, which was like her immediate family until she passed. It
was kind of silly. She would be she'd stand there and bark at the back of the couch.
Yeah, she had no idea where anybody was, but she could like hear or sense or maybe even smell the other people. Right. So she was like, get out of my house. I don't know you.
But she was so adorable.
Was like, looking at like the window and like barking outside. Oh, Bunny. Good memories.
So let's see.
It's like, where'd we go?
Well, so Helly, this is where Milchick's in the bathroom because like Helly distracts him.
And takes his walkie-talkie.
Oh, she took his radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she threw it in the toilet.
I'm just like, your stupid walkie-talkie. And throws it in the toilet. And he's dumb enough to not realize that that's a distraction. I was kind of like, come on, Milchick. But he follows her around into the bathroom. She throws it in the toilet, sneaks out while he finds it, and locks him in there. Oh, sorry.
No. I'm being a little dramatic here. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
But how in the world did she hold the bathroom door shut?
That is what I was going to say, literally like a second from, which I don't know how she was holding the door for how long.
Because eventually
Dylan comes up. But yeah, there's no way Tramiel Tillman is going to be able to, like, I'm not going to be able to hold a door. That man.
I was going to say,
I've seen him with his sleeves off. There's no way.
Yeah, he's like,
he's hinged.
Like, imagine you holding the door, and I walk up, and I'm like, I want out.
Yeah, no. It was,
like, I'm like 3 times your size.
Yeah, and Helly's like probably 110 pounds. Like, there's no way.
Right.
Yeah.
That was, I was like, that's a little unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I let my suspension of disbelief go, and it's fine.
Yeah. I think it would have
held
made
the
more
door shut,
sense
it's
if
fine.
Seth came in then with the vending machine like immediately. Yeah. And
Right.
because that would make sense that he can't bust down the vending machine for a while. But yeah, the fact that it's just Talia, yeah. No, I noted that too.
That blight aside,
Yeah.
I think we're
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, and then Dylan, who does? Oh yeah, no. So he gets the door open, and then Dylan runs through.
Yeah.
And then he gets the vending machine in there and traps him. Here's what I don't get: is the celebration of merriment, whatever they're called, is that department? Are they? What if you were on that team? Would you be like? Would you stop in the middle and be like, "What is happening?" Like,
yeah, exactly. Like,
unless
this seems a little
they
chaotic.
are,
the guy we're celebrating kind of ran away. Like,
unless it's ingrained in them to like they have to finish.
Yeah.
Like Milchick is like whatever his.
Yeah.
You know, with the paper clips and stuff, like you have to just it's your job. No matter what happens,
Right.
you have to do it. So maybe that's it. Maybe it was under threat of
Right.
severance.
Yeah,
or
they
whatever.
probably get freaking whacked with a ruler if they do anything they're not supposed to.
No,
so,
they get that stun gun thing, that stunner thing. That's what they're taking around.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. So Gemma, she finally, since Mark finished Cold Harbor, they're bringing her in. They let her into the Cold Harbor room.
Which is just...
okay. Did you have... That was so cute. You're like...
I was like, I don't want to interrupt the habit of doing that.
It's going to happen. There's a delay, so it's going to happen. Because like I'll start talking, and then I expect that you're like going to know and then stop, and then you don't, and I'm like, is it the delay or can she not hear me? So
or is she
it's
just
fine.
Stupid.
No, I would never think that of you.
Sorry, go ahead, please.
So what did you think was going to be inside the room? That was my question.
Yeah, what we talked about. I thought it was going to be her drowning in a car. I thought it was going to be like a big fish tank when there was going to be a car and they were going to be like, get in the car and it was going to drown and she was going to have to save herself or something. Like reenact her death. Because maybe that's the ultimate panic out of all this other stuff. Because, I mean, turbulence is scary. Writing Christmas cards is annoying. But drowning is a different story. You know what I mean? So that's what I thought. Yeah. That and the name, like, Cold Harbor. Like, the harbor is a lake, right? So that's... I feel like that's what they were setting it up for. So when it was just an empty room with a crib, you're like, what?
So, so whenever she goes in there is a crib, and it's like... The thing tells her to dismantle it. Yeah. So and she has a screwdriver. She starts taking it apart, and she has no emotional attachment to it. They're obviously testing. I mean, it's obvious that they're testing how her emotions of whether she has those attachments or not. So it seems like Cold Harbor, they removed. In her chip, they removed all her obviously the memories. Well, what am I trying to say? Because like, it's not like they're taking away her emotions, but she just doesn't have any memory of it, so there's no connection.
Right? No,
to the
she's
crib.
Just a random woman that has spawned in a room and is doing what she says, doing what the room is telling her to do, probably out of fear and violence, like.
So I guess I'll
disassemble this crib. Like, I know how to use a screwdriver. Yeah.
My question is more of like, what was Mark doing with Cold Harbor? Like the numbers that he was refining.
What was he doing with that room?
Yeah, because with the file that essentially goes to that room, because like Cobell said that every time he finishes a file, he creates a new innie for Gemma.
Yeah.
What is this innie? Like, is it just a random woman, or is it like?
Yeah,
it's obviously not somebody who's had a baby.
Just a new identity that's a blank slate.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense because they're taking out, basically refining. You're putting into little compartments each of the emotions, the tempers.
Yes.
And then, so I guess that's each room is that way. It just has a different scenario in the room
I mean,
to
for all
test
we
it.
know, like, Gemma maybe was also afraid of the dentist, and they know this because it seems like they've been monitoring their lives for years before this. And these all could have been things that were triggering for her, and maybe this is like Cold Harbor's the ultimate trigger because she wants to have a baby so bad. And they buy this crib, and Mark, I can't remember, it's like he can't put it together, and he gets pissed off and starts throwing it.
Yeah, he slammed it down.
And, so it's like extremely triggering, or would be to Gemma, if there's any Gemma left in her, but they're like, no, we figured out how to get out everything. I mean.
Also, if you notice the clothes, you know, every room she has different clothes?
Yes.
The clothes that they gave her were the same ones that she wore the night she left. Mm-hmm. So that was another.
And she recognizes them, is what it seems like. She's like, "What the?"
Gemma. Gemma does. Yeah.
Yeah, Gemma. Yeah.
But then when she goes in the room, she's not Gemma anymore.
Right. She just,
Yeah. So I guess each room is to test the refinement of that particular innie.
Yeah,
right?
Of Gemma.
Like
that facet of Gemma, really. Right. At the end of the day, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I've been perceiving it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Yeah. So after she goes in there, then we're gonna go to Agatha Christie and Mr. Drummond.
Yeah.
Lorne is pushing a goat down the corridor.
And it is the cutest little baby goat I've ever seen. It's so cute.
Adorable. It's so tiny.
It's like, it's just the sweetest little baby.
I don't doubt the next time that I come to see you in Chicago, you're going to have a baby goat.
If that was legal and Benny would allow that. But I've told him multiple times, just so you know, after we've had kids and all this, they're out of the house. Like, we're fully getting, like, I'm getting my chickens.
You're going to have a farm?
Potentially an alpaca. Yeah. I really want an alpaca, so.
Oh, yeah. I don't doubt that. I got you some alpaca socks, like Christmas socks, didn't I?
Yeah, I don't doubt it. I have like a whole shelf of llama stuff, the different people, llama/alpaca stuff that people have given me over the years.
Speaking of alpacas, I've got to plug this since we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I rescued 2 alpacas and carried them down the stairs.
He did.
So I just wanted to say that so I can put the video up.
Yeah. And they're so funny. They like squeak. Like they're like, like they make little scared baby noises.
When I went to pick the first one up, he was backing away. They were young. They were real young too. But I finally got him against a wall and I was able to pick him up.
They're like, I've been cornered.
Well, it's like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm really trying to save you.
I just need to take you down the elevator.
Because we tried to get them to walk down the stairs, but like they got to the edge, they don't look down. You just try to keep going.
I don't even know if they can. I mean, how like?
Yeah, you got to get them some mirrors. Their neck is so long; it's like
it's pretty scary to them.
But yeah, they were pretty adorable. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. If you're in this area where we live, where I live in the Southern Illinois region, go check out Rolling Oak Alpaca Ranch.
For sure,
because they're pretty great people, and they got alpacas that you can pet.
And sometimes there's babies, and the babies like prance around like in this adorable little prance,
little bouncing around. Yeah,
it's just unbelievably adorable. I think it's in Makanda.
All right, so you think it's what?
It's in Makanda, Illinois.
Yeah.
So if that's relevant to anybody.
Yeah, go check that out.
Yeah. Go check.
I'm gonna tell them. I'll be like, hey, I plugged you guys in my video. You
exactly.
Need to, send me a candle.
Send me a candle.
Their candles smell so good.
They do smell good. They're great.
I got there's one of them called Alpaca Farts, and it smells like Fruity Pebbles or Fruit Loops. So good. All right, so now back to the ritual suicide.
Back to the goats, yeah. Well, it's not
ritual,
a suicide.
Ritual slaughter.
Yeah.
He's not killing himself.
Yeah.
So back to the ritual. Oh my God, that's even sadder.
The baby goat has to somehow kill us.
They give him the stunner, the stun gun thing.
Oh God, I'm gonna have nightmares.
So they put him in this little like container thing, and he sticks his little head out, and he's like, just goating around, not knowing what's coming.
And it's so obvious that she's in distress over this. Even before she ends up saying to Drummond, "How many more?" And how many is the boy? He says, "How many more? How many is the
Remember earlier when I checked on you? Are you having a stroke?
As
right?
many as the board needs.
Oh, speaking of that.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said about that statue of Kier being controlled by somebody.
Yes.
That is the board.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to it, you can hear the little crackling that,
that
you hear every time they're on the speaker. God, I feel like a dummy.
Somebody in the board. Yeah.
Yeah. I knew that earlier, but it just hit me that I was like,
Thank
I
you
remember
for
that.
Feedback, Seth. Or Mr. Milchick. I can't remember which one he says.
Mr. Milkshake.
Yeah.
If you notice, like from us doing episode 1 to now to episode 10, because episode 1 was like, they went to the place and now they're over here doing this thing. And now we're like, yeah, Mr. Milkshake, listen, you're a jerk. Like we're both
really
like way
comfortable with
looser.
the characters, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. They're like I'm curious how many they've already slaughtered.
I know.
And that would make
and it seems like it's probably for no reason. Just probably because some stupid old man said that you should do that, and it's for no reason. And this poor woman is raising these goats. They're like her children. That's her life.
Right. Well, and that guy that was in the room when they initially found the goats, he was like, you can't take them. They're not ready.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's attached to him as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would be. Like, that's your whole life. I mean, they have the best life out of everybody there. They get to raise but also raise things, but then those things are murdered. So it's complicated. Yeah, maybe it's actually the worst. I don't know. Yeah, it's sad, but all the time with the baby goats, though.
Well, luckily, any Mark saves the day accidentally.
Yeah, he knocks
by trying to get,
thinking that's where Gemma is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to get into the room across the hallway, which is the hallway to the testing floor elevator. And he climbed up on it, like put his foot on it sideways, and he climbed. What was that? I
think he was trying to like see if he could take that grate at the top down or something. Like, I don't know.
Okay, I was just
desperate,
like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But then Drummond heard him, came out through the door and saw him standing there, and then he just starts.
He's like, Marcus. Yeah.
The punch to his face was so fast.
But before that, the interaction I thought was so funny was, he's like, Drummond comes out and he's like, Mr. Scout, and Mark's like, oh, this is the wrong door. Like, he plays dumb so stupidly. And then Drummond's basically like, yeah, no fucking way, and like grabs him by his shirt collar and slams him into the wall. And then the punch. The punch.
That punch was so fast.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's another nosebleed.
Yeah.
And Mark doesn't need that kind of head trauma.
He doesn't.
He's recovering. His little fondant is so soft.
God, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Is that what's that called up there? Is that the fondant? No.
The fondant is like something you use
that's cake.
For cake decorating. You've been watching too much of your cake boss. Yeah.
What is that called? The filament? The monument? The soft spot.
What are you trying to talk about? What are you trying to say?
On a baby, the soft spot. What's that called?
The soft spot on a baby's head?
Yeah.
It has a name? The fribulum? What is it? Is that, I'm making stuff up now.
It's the feculence that you devour.
No. I don't know what I've always heard that they do have a soft spot, but I don't know if there's like a technical term for it.
Fontanelle.
Yeah. What did I say?
Fontanelle.
Defibrillator.
You said feculum?
No, I didn't say feculum. I said something.
Oh, yeah.
I said like fribulum or something. I mixed up a bunch of words that I thought might.
Friburella?
Yeah. Yeah.
His touches the fondant on top of his head.
From recent chip surgery, basically, is our point.
He's got a cavern in his freaking head. Okay. So they're fighting, which is not good for Mark's
losing.
Mark's little Fontanelle.
Because Drummond is like ginormous. He's like Andre the Giant, and it's just horrific.
You know, you want to hear something funny? I have a friend, and we work together, and you know how guys kind of get a little aggressive with each other sometimes. Yeah. So we'll be on set, like getting ready to set up for something or whatever, and I'll walk past him, and he'll just stand right in front of me and not let me through. And I'll put a hand on each shoulder and I'll just shake him and then just move him out of the way. And he's like, I hate that you can do that so easily. But I weigh like weird. Literally twice as much as him.
Women were like slapping each other's butts. Men are like, violence.
We slap each other's butts too sometimes.
Yeah, I've seen that. I saw that in high school a lot.
But that's only in our personal time.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
Mark's getting his tush.
Yeah, he's getting the crap beat out of him. And then Agatha Christie comes in.
Gwendolyn
holds the...
I can't tell if it's on purpose or not, so I'm just going to correct you. Lauren comes in, our goat woman hero.
Yeah, Brienne of Tarth.
Yeah.
She comes in with the little cattle stunner and just holds it to the, basically you hear that sound that you hear in all the movies where they're like,
yep.
I actually listened to a video one time where there was I don't know, it was a prop master or a master of arms or whatever, and he was talking about it. He was like, if your gun actually made that sound, it's broken. When they pull the gun out and it's like, it's always got that sound, that metallic sound. I've discovered you can make that sound with a stapler really well. You just like kind of move it a little bit and then you can make that sound. But anyway, she holds it up to him and it's like, makes that sound and it's like, I know I'm in trouble now.
Yeah.
So then he stops beating the crap out of Mark.
Mark. That's not what happens. That doesn't make him stop.
I was making that up in my head.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you want to continue?
You take over.
No, they fight. They fight more,
wrong.
and it's an intense fight between Andre the Giant and Gwendolyn Christie because they're both like
Agatha
big
Christie.
people. I mean, she's not like
she's,
you know what I mean. She's just
she's
tall
big.
and
She's
long.
tall. Yeah,
she's big and tall or whatever.
And strong.
Yes, and strong, and they fight for a hot minute. And I can't even remember how it's like. Eventually, she gets him down to where he's beaten to a pulp, and they're holding him like. She's about to shoot him, and Mark's like, no. Remember? You're looking at me like you don't remember that.
I don't, but
no. Mark stops him from. Was going to kill him.
Yeah,
he asks. He's like, no, because he wants to use him to take him to the testing floor, and that's what he does. He goes to the elevator, holding him hostage with the gun.
Yep.
But then when they go to the testing floor, it goes back to
that transition.
Yeah, he's
this is how desensitized
funny,
we are as Americans with the TV that we watch. It's like this dude just got murdered in the neck.
Yes.
By a bolt, and we're just like, that's funny.
Yeah. Well, there's dark comedy is a thing, right? So he wasn't trying to kill him, but Mark is when he switches, he's so panicked. I think he pulls the trigger, and then just
I would do the same thing if I woke up and somebody was grabbing me.
Right, and they're covered in blood, and you don't know you're covered in blood. They're covered in blood. You're like, I guess I better shoot, right?
And Mark got a lot more covered in blood.
Yeah. So he then kills Drummond, and Drummond falls comically to the ground really slowly. His legs keeping the elevator from closing all the way, and Mark just steps over him like, oopsie. Yeah, that was great. But then he's on the floor he needs to be on. He somehow, and how does he find Cold Harbor? I don't even know. He sees the lady. I know, like Gemma's nursemaid lady. I don't know if she has a name.
I don't. Let's call her Meredith.
Meredith. He's Meredith. And he tries to convince, he's like, let me in the room, because he knows where to go. He knows to go to Cold Harbor. Because Cobell has told him. But he can't get in because it's blood locked.
It uses your blood,
So he tries to convince Meredith, and she's like, oh, hell no, and just kind of like runs away. Which I kind of probably would too, because he's covered in blood and has like the stun gun or whatever. But then he uses the blood from Mr. Drummond that's on his tie, and that is enough blood, apparently.
Which was smart.
Soak. Yeah. I don't think I would have been smart enough, honestly, in that moment. I would have been so panicked. Like, I don't know.
You would have gone back and drugged Drummond all the way,
that
like,
actually
little
probably
bit by
is what I've done. Or tried to rip off his arm, or just, like, grab a bunch of his blood and put it in a puddle in my hands, and just...
This is what I would see. You would see, like, Drummond. Oh, I can't do it. I can't go down far enough. But you just see Drummond's hand coming up into frame.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I would get enough blood. If I realized what that was, I would get enough blood, honestly. I would just probably like, blah, 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 and then...
Well, there's plenty of blood on the floor. You just like scoop it up.
On the floor, literally, and just do that, honestly, is probably what I would do. Which, why did they do that? That would have been funny. I guess, not too much, much dark humor.
Can you see him just like taking it down to the...
Yeah. But the tie works, and he's in there, and it's like, oh my god, Gemma. And Gemma's like, who the hell are you? It's a man covered in blood. I mean...
Yeah, I'm surprised she wasn't more freaked out, because he was very covered in blood.
Yeah. And then Mauer's like, don't talk to him. He's here to hurt you. And that's not true, of course.
Right.
But I'm surprised kind of surprised she trusted him, but I mean, he must. I mean,
I think that's that ingrained, that love that
I'm
you
your
can't
husband, you're
sever.
my wife.
Yeah.
And if we leave here, everything's going to be okay, basically.
Right. But I think that's that deep love that you can't sever out.
Maybe, yeah.
That's why it was so hard.
Take. Yeah.
That's why it was so hard for her to tell Mauer whenever they were in the Christmas room that she loved him, because it's like she doesn't. She knows that she loves Mark.
Yeah.
Deep down, subconsciously,
she loves somebody. She just doesn't know who it is.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And then they walk out of the room, and then they both become, now they're both outies.
Right.
Gemma finally sees Mark for the first time. Yeah. And I think they did such an amazing job of the way that they were like, I don't want to ruin it by saying like they're passionately blah blah blah, but it was more than that. It was like this longing that you like, you're like, I need you. And it reminded me of what, like, you see those videos of like soldiers coming home.
I know exactly what you're
and the dog
say.
And the dog comes up, and it's like they're crazy for a little while, but then they're just like rubbing their head on you.
Right.
And that's essentially what they were doing, like just touching every part of their skin to each other. Like, this is finally the coming together.
Yeah. I mean, holding each other's faces like, oh my God, it's you. Yeah.
They build you up and build it up.
Yeah.
Just to pull the rug out from under your feet and throw you onto the blood-soaked ground.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. They end up going back up the elevator, right? And then they're they're Mrs. Casey and any Mark, and they're both like WTF, right? Like, he's like, Miss Casey? She's like, Marcus. Yeah.
I like her line.
Yeah.
She's like, what is transpiring, or something like that.
Yeah, what is transpiring here? Like, yeah.
It's the Miss Casey language.
Right.
And then I don't think he answers, does he?
No, I think he's just like, the door opens and it's red, and they're probably both like, oh, so, but Mark knows what to do. He's like, you got to follow me. Yeah.
Yeah, they were both innies, and then all of a sudden, like, they both became innies and they're kissing. It's like, what is happening?
Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. When they come to, they're like,
their faces are mashed together.
Yeah.
Mark knows what needs to be done, so they start running down the hallway. And correct me if I get any of this wrong. They basically just run through the halls until they get to that door
that Helly
leads to the stairwell.
Uses in the first season, right? That's
right.
Where she keeps going out, and then she gets scared. She's like, what the fuck? Why can't I leave? Yeah. Yeah.
So then they open the door, and Miss Casey steps out and becomes Gemma, and then Mark closes the door, and then he stands there with his hands on the thing, like trying to make the decision, and then this is where
he's like, oh, we're back to he knows that if I go out there, I am potentially gone forever.
Coming back,
yeah, I don't know what happened, so I held up half the deal. Maybe and I think what triggers him definitely staying is Helly. Helly finds him. She hears them or something. We don't know. If
she hadn't come around the corner, would he have gone out the door?
Exactly. Is it all your fault, Helly? I don't know.
It'd be so crazy if she was Helena then.
Yeah, it would.
That would be so
would
nuts.
Make sense. But she seems so genuinely like in love and happy when he eventually
when he chooses her. Yeah.
Poor Gemma's just like, no, and then he is walking over to Helly and
like, imagine you haven't seen Benny for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see him for 3 minutes. You get in an elevator, and then you walk out a door, and he's like, bye. Yeah.
It would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like, but at the same time, I think I would know, oh my God, that's not him. That's his innie. Like, shit.
Would she know that? Would Gemma?
But does Gemma know that? We don't know. That's
we don't know what Gemma knows.
We don't know what she knows. So yeah, it could just be. But surely she knows that potentially she knows what's happening. She knows she's being severed. So would she could be like, oh, okay, that's what happened.
Could be.
Yeah. We don't know, because the last thing we see is Mark and Helly running down the hallway in slow motion.
with the red and white security lights, just like
yep.
That
it's all bad.
That last shot I thought was super, like, it was just an interesting choice on their part, because it freezes and then it just slowly pushes in on them, kind of like one of those like a heist movie from the 60s.
Yeah, absolutely. But we know there's just got to be a season 3, right? Because they're not going to leave us hanging, and it's been announced, of course. So
yeah, they did confirm, as long as the Variety article is correct.
Yeah,
they did confirm that season 3 has been approved. Which why wouldn't it be?
yeah, excellent show.
Think about this though. If that Variety article was correct, and it does cost around $18 to $20 million per episode, this season was close to probably a quarter of $1 billion to produce.
I hope the subscriptions to Apple TV are making up for it.
$10 a month or however much Apple TV is.
Yeah, God, that's expensive. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Thoughts on the episode?
Just extremely well done. Everybody was amazing. I was so happy to see Goat Lady again. I'm so glad the goat was saved. And I also loved when she was like, Emil, or whatever his name was, thanks you. And Mark's like, what? She's like, that's the name of the goat. And he's like, oh, right. Do you remember that part?
I do now that you said it.
Yeah. That I thought was adorable and precious. But that little baby goat.
That's the kind of stuff that I love adding into scripts. Is just little tiny things like that. It's so much fun. But for some reason, for a second, you said at least the baby goat was saved, and then I was like, wait a minute, the baby goat's still stuck in the little thing, but it's not, because Agatha Christie was holding there to take it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just like calling her Agatha Christie now. That's like my thing.
It's hard to once you've also like developed a habit, it's like it's
not a habit. I just do it because you.
I know, but for me, it's like I have to like take a second in my brain, like don't say it wrong.
We have been with everybody else's names in the.
I just usually don't think before I speak, so that's generally a problem for me in general.
Okay, so Zach Cherry predictions for season 3.
Oh my God.
You want me to give you mine?
Yeah, you go first.
I just thought of it. Okay.
I was thinking about something else actually, but I can use that, I guess.
I'm gonna say that Mark and Helly are gonna go open down under in Lumen. They're gonna go and take over the goat area, and they're gonna start raising their own goats.
Okay, this is kind of going off what I was thinking. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, they're gonna start raising their own goats, and they're gonna change the function of Lumen to like everybody gets a goat. You got to take care of it, and it teaches you responsibility. It teaches you sponsibility, and you are now responsible for the life of that goat, and you have to raise it, and it has to be happy, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I was gonna say my take's a little more dramatic. I was gonna say that they team up with Agatha Christie, and they raise all the goats, and they make them like they make them bad bitches. You can do a sound over the goats, and they just stomp the ever living shit out of everybody else there, and they just break out. Like it's just like they raise a goat army. Yeah. And just bust the hell out of there.
I like your version better than mine. Mine's too happy. Yours is
I know. I want to see James. I want to see James like. Yeah, I want to see him beat to a pulp by a baby goat feet. Is that gross? What's wrong with me? Please don't think I'm serious. I don't need a medical evaluation. I've had so many.
You guys, Micah's holding me captive. Please let me out. Somebody come and save me.
Yeah. Rob's just like, you're in like a bunker this whole time.
Right. This back here, this ain't even real. There's not real books.
It's a fake background.
There's not real books over here. I don't even know how to read.
I don't even know how to read.
I genuinely want to see James Egan get, if nothing else, an elbow to the face. I just want to see. I want to see his nose get all crunched in.
Like, yeah, I just wanted to backhand him, like pimp slap. Like,
here's what I want. I want Helly to be punching him, and then right when she does, she turns into Helena. Right in his face.
I was gonna say Mark is on one end, Helly's on the other, and they punch him at the same time, and his face explodes.
His teeth come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the cartoony version.
Yes.
What has happened to this video?
I don't know. I don't even know if we can say that. I mean, Mike could take it down for violence. I don't know.
Bring it on.
It's all a joke.
YouTube.
It's all a joke. It's because it's a TV show. None of it's real. No baby goats were harmed. Like, actually even got closer, but literally I was like, no, like as the whole baby goat scene out loud, I was like, no. Yeah.
What is it about humans that are so protective? Did you see that Netflix show, this Don't F with Cats?
Yeah, of animals more so than we even are people.
The people
sometimes.
were like fine that the guy was murdering people. But as soon as he like tortured some cats, they were like,
"That's how they got on his case." Yeah.
The internet sleuths went and started finding him.
It's probably why our species isn't doing so good as a whole. We don't seem to care enough about each other.
Right.
Real talk.
And that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Should we wrap it up?
I guess that's it.
I think we both should do it.
Okay. But at a different time.
It's going to be different times because...
Well, I'm saying, do you want to go and then I'll go?
No,
and then you can like post them together at the same time.
I mean, we can say it at the same time and then I can like overlay. Because
I was actually going to change mine up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. If you want, go ahead. You go first and then I'll do it.
What is it?
Or do you want me?
As always,
or do you want me to do it first?
Please don't murder baby goats. That's what I was going to say. As always, save the goats.
Yeah, or... Save each goat equally.
Yeah. What is it? As always, try to take care of each goat equally. Love all goats equally.
Which one do you want to do?
As always, love all goats equally. It's okay. I'm going to have to redo that because you talked right.
Yeah, are you going to... Well, no, we're going to cut mine out and put me on top of it later.
Oh, okay. Are you going to say that too?
What are your thoughts? Should I say the same thing as you or something different?
No, do that. I think that's funny. We both say
the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go first and then I'll say the same thing.
As always, treat each goat equally.
You might have to do that again because you did a pause and I don't know how long it was.
Yeah. What is it? As always, we say try to enjoy each episode equally, right?
Yeah, so as always, try to treat each goat equally. Or try to love each goat equally.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know which one's better.
Handle each goat equally? Care for?
Oh, we'll do that since that's what they do, right? They care for the goats.
Yeah.
Okay, let me take a sip.
Gulp.
All right. Yep. Gulp. Goofy noise. As always, treat each goat equally.
You gotta say try. Try to care for each goat equally. Yeah.
As always, try to care for each goat equally. Good?
Yeah. All right, I'm going to try it. As always, try to care for each goat equally. As always, try to care for each goat equally.
And then bye until like season 3. What?
Yeah. Crazy. And cut.
Yep. They better get on it. I don't want to wait another 10 years.